Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Slightly Mighty Podcast, the local podcast dedicated to the many musical artists, venue owners, and event promoters who contribute their time and energy to Charleston's vibrant and growing music scene. My name is Sean Beckner, your host and humble facilitator. This will be our second Slightly Mighty episode. Once again, I'd like to ask for your patience as we grow and improve with each attempt. Thank you to all those who have offered their advice, ideas, and criticisms in order to make this episode even more mighty than the last. Keep sending those along to hopturn@gmail.com. And don't forget that if you like the show, please like, follow, subscribe, share, and all the other things you can do as you see fit. Today's conversation is being hosted by Maybank Public House on James Island. Much appreciation to Drew Madden for allowing us to use this great space for today's recording venue. So let's get down to it. How'd you get started on this musical path? How'd you get here?
I found a guitar under my parents' bedroom in second grade, I would say. And that I picked it up and I was, I wanted to do music maybe as a career. And my parents were like, don't do that.
Oh, so they actually cared about you then.
Yeah.
So Julie's here out of rebellion.
I am.
Nice.
I went to college and I wasn't going to do music. And then I was like, you know what? Everything else sucks. So I'm going to do music.
Nice.
And just commit to making little to no money, but having a great time doing it.
Nice. So you went to school for music, or you went to school
I
for something?
did.
All right,
yeah.
cool.
Well, I started out just taking like random lessons and not sure if I was going to major in it, but I ended up majoring in music composition.
Oh, wow.
And theory. So I know my nerdy stuff, but I got to say I haven't used a lot of it
Okay.
since I graduated. It's nice to know. It's like a good language to talk to people and to convey stuff. But
Right.
I would say, in terms of creativity and music production and a lot of the skills I'm using now, or really just over the last 15 years, have just been things I've learned from friends, from other musicians, and just from collaborating with different people, Stratton, John, in particular with Sex Brews, learning all that stuff along the way, because we have learned a lot.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been a band, actually? Sex Brews, the band, which we're going to get into in depth.
Well, that's a tricky question.
Yeah,
because,
it's kind of like we lie about our age.
All right.
I know. Anytime anybody asks us how old we are, we always say 23. And
Okay.
they laugh for some
people,
reason.
the band isn't 23.
Me too. I'm 23 too.
Yeah, we're everybody like in
Yeah,
unison.
we lie about our
23.
age.
We're all 23.
It's much more depressing to be like, yeah, we have two 40-year-olds and we're just about to break in.
Hey, we're a lot of people make it at that age, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you went to school for music, and you got out, and you were a fresh-faced kid on the scene in
Yeah.
Charleston, or
Yeah. I toyed with moving to Nashville for a minute, and I actually went down there and I stayed with a friend for about 2 weeks.
You're like, there's way too many people
Yeah,
here.
I was like, I don't want to fight through this slog. And then I got back to Charleston and got like 10 gigs booked immediately, and
Nice.
they paid.
Yeah, yeah.
Nashville was like, you pay us to play here.
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
like, wait, what?
yeah.
So yeah, I just kind of hopped in and started doing bar gigs and stuff like that, and building connections. And I, somewhere along the line, met John and Stratton a while back, and Stratton is the one that came up with the idea of the concept of the band.
The concept, yeah.
And
which
that was the
basically
history.
which basically means I had at my birthday party called the Strap-On Face Funk, and I was like, "Hey, I got this band name. It's going to be called Sex Brews." And I need you guys to write 30 minutes of material.
And that's John and I used to be roommates, actually. John Pope. Sorry,
Yeah.
you said say last names, John Pope. And we used to be roommates. And yeah, Stratton just messaged us saying, do you want to play Face Funk? And we said, sure.
And I had no idea what they were going to do.
Yeah,
I was
he was
just
like, write some stuff. And
I
we
was
were
like, just write some bullshit, and we'll. And then you got a 30-minute slot, and I didn't hear any of it. I didn't go to any of the rehearsals or anything.
He didn't do
No way.
anything.
Yeah.
He just showed up and just was like the hype guy.
And I remember being on stage, just like basically just drinking beer and like on stage with them, not even really playing anything, and then just hanging out on stage.
Yeah, you did just kind of hang out
And then like it was like a light bulb in my head. I
play
was just
some
like,
percussion.
I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I was like, because the first songs were Middle School Dance.
Yeah, that was in the very first round of songs.
And Ford Taurus and The Internet is for Porn, which we've since retired.
Yeah, that was a song we did.
You can imagine how that one goes.
And I think the other failed one was called Grocery Store, which ironically we've actually written a new song called Grocery
It's
Store.
way better.
Not
Grocery
at all
Store
related.
Part 2 or no?
The first Grocery Store was
It's a remake.
It's a
we would
prequel.
we just would play a beat, like a groove, and then John and I just took turns listing grocery items, which I think in a very tired and drunken state when we came up with the idea sounded like it was going to be very funny.
But actuality, it was a little boring.
Yeah, in reality, people were like, okay, next.
Okay. Stratton, I know you're from a big musical family.
Yeah. So for me, my dad played. He still plays bass, and so I grew up listening to his band, the International Harvesters, who still play today. They play like once a year.
Still harvesting.
Yeah, they're still harvesting. And I kind of got, I always was into music, but I kind of just, it came to me later in life. I remember, I had like my garage band and stuff. Like, I remember I tried out for band and probably like 7th grade or something. And I remember the teacher, I was like, I want to play drums. The drums are cool, And she was like, so she like had me like hold a pair of sticks or something. And then she was like, actually, I think you're more of a clarinet player. And I was like, well, I'm not doing band then. I was like, I'm out of here.
Clarinet.
You're more of a clarinet.
I know. I think they just needed like another like clarinet player or something. Like, and they're like every kid wanted to be a drummer.
Yeah, well, yeah. That is also to let a lot of kids down easy.
Yeah. So that was like, no,
I'm having a second where I'm thinking about you playing the clarinet now.
Yeah, I know. That's what
That
I
would
mean.
be a very funny.
I know. And like wherever that lady is that told me that, I'm like, see,
I did it.
Yeah.
I want to see the alternate reality Stratton, who is a professional
Oh yeah, I'm like
woodwinds player.
yeah, I'm like a touring the
Easier load in and
He's
out.
world.
in
Yeah.
Charleston Symphony.
Yeah,
He's very
just a
refined.
total nerd.
Just walk in and be a complainer. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like any of this.
So anyway, so after that, I was like, I just had like garage bands, and I was really into like grunge rock and stuff, and then I moved to Charleston. Didn't go to school right away. I had like a high school sweetheart. I chased to Charleston, and then I didn't even play music or anything. I just kind of like partied for a year, and then it wasn't until later on I moved up to Surfside Beach and did a little bit of college, which I also dropped out of.
Oh, okay.
But
So you figured it out fast.
But during
then.
that time, though, I had a friend of mine who had like a broken djembe, John Palm, where he always likes to.
Djembe.
Yeah, he had a broken djembe, and I just kind of was like messing with it for a minute, and he was like, "You play drums?" And I was like, "Nah, not really, man," because I already sold my drums for rent, because I learned a lot about like living on my own after. I was like, oh, I know how to do this. It's fine. And then I was like, oh, all right, I'm selling my drums after a month of doing it. But anyway, he ended up finding me like a real drum set and then formed some band of some random guys. He didn't even have any musical talent, really. He just liked music. He admittedly will say that too.
Right. I'm not saying
I'm
that.
not talking shit about him.
You're not trash talking.
Yeah. But so we had like this, and then he just put together this band with some other college kids, and then I kind of just started meeting more and more people that were better and better musicians, and moved back down to Charleston, and then just started meeting more and more people and getting better and better, and it just kind of fell in my lap a little bit. So. Cool. I didn't really like mean to be a musician, like professionally,
That's how it happens a lot.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not for you, actually. That's interesting, actually, because you kind of fell into
went to
it.
school for this.
She was in the second grade thinking this. I was just playing with He-Man in the second grade.
My mom is actually a professional musician as well.
Oh, okay.
She's like a much more legitimate professional musician. She was like a professional pianist, like on Broadway for many years and things like that. And she's a really talented piano player. So I had it around a lot as a kid. And my parents met or I don't know if they met. Oh no, they did meet in marching band. They went to University of Alabama and they were in the marching band together.
Wow, they were both in marching band.
They were.
I didn't know that.
They both played saxophone, I think.
Really?
So that's where they met.
I didn't know that's how they met. That's funny.
Yeah, and then they formed a rock band back in the 70s. They were in a band they formed called Jericho.
Did I not know any of this?
I'm not saying
Really?
I'm not
Are there
saying
any-
anything, I'm not saying anything bad, but that is a perfect 70s band name.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Jericho.
Oh, they look like it too. They have some very funny band pictures.
That's
they all have
great.
matching outfits with like
Really?
sparkly vests and like
Wow.
huge lapels and
What
and the
kind of
whole
music
thing.
were they playing?
I think they did mostly covers, but
yeah.
it was very 70s,
Wow.
60s, 70s
But-
disco kind of stuff.
Julie has a heritage though. She has like she's Polish, and she has this. Tell them about the polka stars in your
Yeah,
past.
I mean, I don't actually know much about them, but I do know that I have several family members in the Polka Hall of Fame
Oh yeah,
on my dad's
big
side.
deal.
Didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, it is.
I'm learning stuff. It's great.
They play accordion. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Nice.
So I kind of got it coming from both sides. And my parents, I think, actually having been in the scene a little bit, that's why they were like, do you really want to
Like it's a dead end road, kid.
do it? Maybe you should be a doctor. And
Right.
then I shadowed a doctor once in high school,
Ugh.
and I was like,
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of work
yeah.
and
I
blood.
had to get up at like 4:30, and then it was disgusting. And
That's actually always my advice. Of like people ask me for advice for like young musicians and stuff. I'm like, hang it up. It's a dead end road.
Do you say that?
he does
Well,
now.
I'm not saying it. It's kind of. I'm kind of joking, but I'm also like, I don't know if you've seen the music industry lately. It's not thriving as
It's
much
great as
it
long
once
as you
was.
don't need to like have commercial success.
Well, I was like, yeah. I mean, now that nobody pays for music, really, it's like I don't know, like
It
how
is difficult.
You're
isn't
gonna
it?
really.
It's challenging. It's a much better market for, I would say, like hired players in terms of like, you are a skilled person
Right.
at your instrument and you're going to get hired out for gigs. That's fine. Like that
Totally.
is alive and well.
Don't get me
But
wrong.
you are-
I do a lot of that myself.
yeah.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, I love playing music.
It's
for
more
a
about
living
like
and
the
stuff. It's
original
just-
path that is so challenging. I mean, it
Sure.
always has been.
Sure.
But
Well,
And you guys
especially-
have taken it to a pretty high level, actually, in my view. I mean, you guys are playing everywhere.
smoking mirrors.
Yeah,
Smoke and mirrors.
I know.
Well, that's,
No,
what-
you
that's,
know.
that's entertainment business, though. So, you know.
Yeah, well, Sex Brews was like it was kind of we didn't take it seriously, and then like we were a fake band for many years, like
Yeah,
where we
probably
played.
the first 3 years that we were a band. Yeah, it was kind of just this funny thing we did occasionally, and
Yeah, I remember I used to take crowd shots from other much famouser bands, like from the stage, and just say it was our crowd, and.
the lying was blatant. Actually, a lot of people have blamed us for
great.
Donald Trump's strategy.
Right, 'cause we
like
were
I think
using
we
it
invented
first.
it.
Oh,
because this
God.
was in 2014,
2015, yeah.
and our strategy
Oh, wow.
for becoming
Just
famous
say
was to
anything.
just lie like a lot and say that we were famous, and then it worked.
This is also the time when you could buy Facebook likes. Well, you could get Fiverr. Have you ever heard of the? So Fiverr is an app or
Oh, it's a website that you can basically. There's people on there that have certain skill sets, and you can hire them to do
Oh, okay.
random
Yeah, I've
odd,
heard of
all
that.
kinds of things.
odd
I've heard of
it's
that.
all digital stuff,
right,
yeah.
but you can hire them to make a video or help you with stats or like marketing, things like that. And then it cropped up that there was a lot of people on there that were offering Facebook likes, and it wasn't like stated that they were fake, but
Right, and you could get like 300 or no, like 3,000 for like $5 or something.
Damn, that's a good
no,
deal.
it was even better than that. We got like 20,000
There's
likes
different packages.
for I want to say like $15.
The only issue though was that
They were all from Turkey.
yeah, but and also
That's okay.
the likes would
They
disappear.
like funky jams in Turkey, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, this podcast goes all the way to Turkey.
Oh yeah,
I'm
sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
Anyways,
just
go
buy
ahead, I'm
some
sorry.
likes.
Go
It's
ahead.
fine.
Well, the issue
What I
was
need.
that we got to 20,000, and then we dropped like from 20 to like 10,000 because Facebook started deleting all these like accounts that were whatever they did. I don't know.
Did you get $10 back?
No.
But then we would also just tell people like, that's pretty normal though. Like when you hit the success that we have, is that like some people may decide
Yeah.
that they don't like it anymore.
Ebbs and
Yeah.
flows.
yeah, and
Ebbs and flows.
maybe 10 to 15,000 people stop liking it.
Yeah, it could happen.
But it helped you get started.
It did.
Right,
And
Well,
that's smart. That's smart business.
I tell you though,
appreciate that.
there was people around Charleston who were like, man, they like really bought into.
They thought we
like,
blew up.
Yeah, they were like, you guys are huge now. That's so crazy. And we're like, yeah.
And the funny thing is, it actually
you told
culminated.
me that when I met you.
It culminated in the City Paper Awards. Somehow we got nominated for a new band, like best new artist.
And mind you, that was after one show at the poorhouse for a
we had
birthday
played
party.
one show.
Yeah.
And we saw that and we were like, let's promote the shit out of it. And we sent it to like everyone we knew. And then we sent it to like a bunch of people like out of state and stuff. And we had all these fake likes and we won.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was crazy. Because I also think that people voted for us because like they just saw that name and they were like, oh yeah.
I also think that though, the thing that made it even sweeter is so we won, but also I guess because we were silly and we actually had a good location to shoot.
Oh, yeah,
but they
that's
gave
right.
us the cover of the city paper.
Yeah.
And we had played
Which is a total fluke because I think
one show.
So one show and you owned the town.
it was so
That's
bizarre
cool.
because I remember, we just like the guy that was shooting for City Paper. There had been like this Halloween thing or something.
No,
that
it was a New Year's
oh yeah, that's right.
party or something downtown. And our bandmate at the time, Caleb Bodtorf, he worked at this event space and they had all of
That's
this
right.
New Year's, like, just, I mean, it was insane. There was like beds with money and chandeliers
Lots of
and
props.
gigantic
Nice.
Yeah.
like champagne bottles. And we were like, this is perfect.
Yeah, you took advantage.
Yeah, so I don't think
Good.
we were originally supposed to be on the cover, and then I think because it was just such good
The
shots.
photos turned out so good. They were like, yes.
Yeah. So anyway, and then so we got on the cover, and this is all like within 6 months of us like playing, and then
I would say, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I guess it was.
yeah, and then of course my I had to my family is has a good sense of humor. My parents are wonderful, and they get it, but my grandparents on the other hand. Because like they got the news that like, oh, they won this thing in City Paper or whatever,
Right.
and on the cover and stuff, and then so like I brought the issue up there, and we had to take the story out of the middle because I didn't want my grandma to see, like, because the interview also was done by our good friend Stratton Lawrence, and
Right.
he also he let us just like say like anything. We like made up.
Yeah, there was no filter.
Nice.
We made up everything in the interview.
Yeah, talking about the strategy of lying. Yeah, we just
Yeah.
said all kind of crazy shit. Like, we were like, we're in a feud with Kanye West.
Totally, yeah.
That's
and
cool. How do you keep that shit up, actually? I mean, how do you...
It turns out that no one cares if you lose the thread.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
that is what we're learning
doesn't
these
matter.
days, isn't it? You just keep talking and people just keep
Yeah,
doing
you just
this.
move on to like some new
Yeah, they're like, okay, that sounds good. Yeah, that sounds
thing.
legit.
Yeah, no one's
I
like,
don't know.
whatever happened to their feud with
Yeah.
Kanye?
That's the world we're in now, though. I mean,
That's why some people say we invented it, and
that, I know.
we should
I mean,
be blamed.
we're
Some people
probably-
say that.
I think some people have said that we're
You're doing it to
directly
me right now, aren't you?
Well, funny enough, though, we did write an apology song that we've performed many times called
Yeah.
"Sorry About Everything,"
Okay.
Yeah.
and it was in part inspired by that feeling that we helped usher in that age of
Okay.
just extreme lies leading to success.
I think we more so just recognized that that's where like we were going, like as a society, like that.
Oh yeah,
That was just
That
already-
is an
play the
interesting
game.
question.
We play the game.
And a point. And I think there's a question that I would like to ask about that, actually. Would you like to hear
Yeah.
from one of my...
I'd love to.
From the last podcast guests. I'm gonna hit the button and see if I can get
Is
this
it
to
a live
work.
caller? Is he
It,
calling
it
in?
might as well be.
I want to know like where the idea came to really create these personas and then be that all the time for Sex Bros.
That's a great question.
That's Corey Stevens.
Man, Corey, you're right. Corey Stevens' voice is just
It's butter,
silky
right? It
Smooth.
is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should do
Man, just
voiceovers.
do
He should
that.
do my job. I even told him that at the deal. I was like, we should change places.
Yeah. I mean, I got a low voice, but man, I think he beats me.
It's butter.
Yeah.
So answer the question, God damn it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I was so distracted by that.
Look, I
That
want to be
silky
clear.
smooth-
I want to be clear.
Well, all right. So the
This is
characters
the
just-
beginning to a lie. Let me be clear.
Let me be
Yeah.
clear.
So the characters kind of just organically kind of just, I feel like they just kind of
Came to us?
yeah. Because I mean, I wouldn't even say that like the persona that I think I was more so playing on the idea of just I mean you see hype men in bands and they don't really do a lot like, but they're just up there on stage the whole
Yeah,
time.
keeping the
And-
energy going.
And I was also playing off of like how percussion guys would always have like a bunch of just stuff and all that. So like originally I had like all these office supplies as like my rig, and it was like a pencil sharpener, like a paper shredder.
We would raid Goodwill before every show.
Yeah, so
and get any kind of electric devices that they had.
yeah, and we would do solos with it. Like, y'all want to see me shred?
Yeah, that was a great. We did that bit actually at the Poorhouse in
That's right.
2021.
Yeah,
we
like-
shredded taxes.
We had a
Oh,
shred off
wow.
between me and Will Evans, who plays guitar with us.
And you won, right?
Oh, well,
Yeah,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
It's
But,
not rigged, but
Yeah, but originally, like I was like the desktop player because also people were like using laptops, which we
Well,
were also using laptops.
that was
but-
something that you came up with pretty right away. Was that we were supposedly this electronic band,
Right.
right? But wouldn't it be funny
you
if
still
instead of
use-
having laptops,
Right.
we had desktops and
Floppies.
That was like one
Right.
of the first
That was
gags.
totally,
I think.
yeah. And then it just kind of evolved, and then I got a griddle at some point along the
Well,
way.
I think I forced your hand. I was like, Stratton, it would be hilarious if
You're
you
right.
made pancakes, and you were like, ugh, I don't want to make pancakes on stage. That sounds hard. And I was like, you can do it. And then I think
It is hard, by
I
the
just
way.
showed up at a gig, and I was like, Stratton, I bought you a griddle.
and I was like, fine.
That's awesome.
We're doing it. And then it became probably our
Oh yeah, people.
I've
Biggest-
never eaten one. Are they good?
biggest- running-
They got better over time. Like the beginning was terrible. It
You
really-
guys should post a recipe.
There's still some hit or misses, like if we blow the circuit.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of risks that we take doing live
Yeah.
pancakes because
Griddles draw a lot lot of electricity.
We learned
as
all
it would
this-
turn out.
They do.
We learned all this like as we went too. We pretty
Yeah,
much
no bands were using griddles at the time. Now,
Yeah.
Now I think there's like probably at least 3 others.
Yeah.
Got a bunch of people biting your moves.
Well, I'll tell you the issue with the griddle is that you kind of I learned this the hard way because people were like, "Yeah, your pancake's great, but they're so hot." Like because they're trying to catch them with their
yeah,
mouth and
we
stuff.
burned people probably.
So what I have to do
Cost
now,
of doing business.
what I have to do now is I have to prep a song ahead of time for because we always do it during our song Rite Aid, which is one of our weird
Giving
songs.
away all our trade secrets, Jen.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, this is like a
I'm just
behind the scenes.
It is. And you know what?
This
Only other musicians, well, they probably will rip you off, actually, now
Yeah.
that I say that out loud.
yeah.
Yeah, you got to make the pancakes one song.
Well,
ahead
yeah,
of
because I
time.
have to let them cool off a little bit because, like, we're not trying to get sued, or we
I mean,
would
actually,
get
we did
sued.
try to get sued
Yeah,
one
we have
time.
tried to get this sued.
We
yeah.
tried, and it didn't work.
Didn't work.
Okay.
Turns out that if you're inconsequential enough, you can get away with anything because no one.
Nobody cares
Cared.
if you're not like big enough, or I don't know.
No, we put. I intentionally stole and put in the tag from DJ Khaled. Like
Oh yeah.
Nice.
at the beginning of all his songs, he has a tag that's like DJ Khaled.
Right.
And I put that in one of our songs like a bunch of times, and we published it like
Yeah.
on
It's
Spotify,
It's still on there.
and we were like, we're gonna get sued any day
It's
now.
gonna be
Get
terrific.
famous.
And then you're made.
I
And
know.
it's-
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like it
Didn't happen.
Didn't
Turns
work,
out
yeah.
DJ Khaled didn't give
Doesn't
a
give
fuck.
a shit.
he never heard.
He doesn't care.
He didn't care. But
He's not going to beef with sex brews. Is that what
no, we
is
were
that what you're
trying to
begging?
start a beef.
that was our tactic ahead. Like we used to be like we were just like trying like anything. Like we used to be sponsored by Pizza Hut and Home Depot.
Yeah, we would tag them in every post, be like, "Thanks, Pizza Hut," just hoping that they would comment back and be
Yeah.
like, "Who are you?"
Yeah,
I
please leave us alone.
I was always going on Pizza Hut's like social
never
media. Yeah, they never did. But
But
we just thought the idea of having corporate sponsors was just kind of funny
It's very-
for a
it
band
is still
called
funny.
Sex
But you know
Brews.
what? You have just introduced my next question.
Oh, I
Well, I
guess
hope
we
I-
didn't really.
Aren't you guys
we didn't really
liking my new
answer the,
feature?
Well, I hope-
you answered it enough.
I hope
It's
I-
we
fine.
answered it enough.
It doesn't
Corey,
matter.
Corey, I
Nobody
hope I
cares,
answered
you're
that,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to add one quick thing though, which is a funny phenomena, is
Please.
that we do have such strong sort of characters, if you will, on stage of us being like over the top and
Mm-hmm.
exaggerated and just ridiculous that it's. I would say like 90% of our fans assume that we are like that off stage.
Yeah.
And so they will come up to us after the show and be like, "You guys want to go rip a lot of drugs and like get crazy and do like cocaine all night?" And we're just like, "No, we're going to the Holiday Inn to sleep.
Yeah.
We're going to go
Like you
sleep
do.
now."
And then we're gonna go drive
Yeah.
8 hours tomorrow. and
We're
play
not
another
we're not
show.
doing any of that.
But you've done your job if you've convinced them that you are the
Yeah,
character.
again,
look so let down.
Smoke and mirrors, that's the big theme of our band is
Yeah. They're like,
maybe
"You
that's what
guys-"
maybe that's what all the bands are really. in certain
I mean,
levels.
that, for sure.
you know. All right, so here's another question that was asked, and I know you guys are loving this new bit, which we'll see if it works out. Who knows? Zach Quillen had a really good question. Let's see if
He
you
always
can
does.
answer this question from the last guest.
I wonder. My question is Sex Brews a result of rebellion against the typical Charleston band? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I view it as an act of rebellion.
I thought that was pretty interesting. It kind of tied into what y'all were saying too about some of your corporate sponsorships, your general ethos at the time.
Yeah, that's funny. That's a great question. Another great radio voice.
I mean, I would tend to agree. Yes, that I think early on, all of us really, but especially John and I, kind of leaned into kind of the idea of taking not quite political ideas, but like culturally relevant ideas, and then flipping them on their heads. And it was a way to express what normally you're not really allowed to in music. You're not really allowed to kind of dive into that subject area. But I would say we are kind of like counterculture in a way.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, because it just started with just absurdity. I mean, that was just the whole thing, was just absurdity.
Poking fun.
Yeah, and it wasn't necessarily towards Charleston bands per se. It was just kind of just like...
just music in general, kind of. But
yeah, I mean, we were just kind of like, really... Because, I mean, how many times have you seen bands on stage who are just kind of seem bored and stuff? And that was just kind of like... and that energy, I mean, if a band is bored on stage, then the people in the crowd are also like... I feel like it kind of... So, like, because I've noticed at our show specifically, if like... the more absurd and crazy we're being on there, people get captivated by it, and they're like, I mean, and they feel comfortable because like we're the idiots up there doing crazy shit.
That's probably our number one thing we hear from people in the crowd after the show is that your stage presence was off the charts. I mean, whether or not our music is your cup of tea, it's like fairly undeniable that we are a spectacle to watch and entertaining on some level. And I think the idea with what I was getting at before was that as we kind of progress as a band, I think our ideas for the songs, they always remained absurd and silly, but they kind of got a little bit more poignant in terms of really honing in and poking fun at something very specific in culture, or not necessarily just the music scene, but also sometimes like we made a fake jam band song making fun of jam bands that was just like jam 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 da jam jam da jam jam jam. Yeah,
you still can, man. You can send me
fix it in post.
We'll fix it in post.
So we have taken probably a shot at most facets of life at this point.
And I mean, that's not just because we're bitter, right?
No, it's not because
you're providing much needed commentary. Is that how you see it? Commentary?
Sure, yeah. Sort of? I mean, it's a vehicle for us to like really express ourselves like in a way that's just like free and just kind of like...
it kind of gives us license to say the things that maybe in a quote unquote serious band you would never get at, because how would you? I mean, it's almost like sarcasm is the best way to convey some of these topics, because then it comes across as lighthearted, right? And it's not going to be something that someone takes affront to, but when they stop and think about it, like we have a song called "War on Christmas," right? Which is like hilarious.
That's a great song, and you know what? I like that attitude too. That's like you're not being just mean spirited about it.
No,
that's why people can still have a good time. You know?
Yeah, we're not like trying to like really hurt anybody's feelings or anything.
Right.
The idea is just we're just we're just having fun. We're just trying to get in such dark times like. It's a moment. It's a moment to like let go of that.
It's been dark times the whole time we've been a band. Like
I remember. I used to look forward to your governor post.
Yeah.
And you know what? A lot of people have asked me like, "Who's next on the show?" And I'm saying he's like, "You got to say something about the governor."
McMaster.
The McMaster shit was hilarious, man.
And I, like everybody else, that kind of just became like, we were watching the
fuck that guy for starters.
McMaster.
He was just low hanging fruit too. I mean, it was
you know
just
what
like,
song we should send you?
Oh yeah, the
Fall Time.
Oh yeah, Fall Time.
Good evening, everybody, or afternoon, or whatever it is. I got a little song here for y'all to help y'all remember the protocol. It goes a little something like this. Well, folks, rules is rules and schools is schools, as you know. So we got this protocol in place. Got to get all these bars closed at 11 p.m. on the dot. I don't care if you're a Darius Rucker himself. If we don't follow these rules, we're going to have the kids back in time for high school football. Fall time.
If you just follow the rules, maybe we can get back to school. In the fall time,
Now, a lot of y'all been asking me how the virus spreads, and I think the answer is in spit molecules. A lot of people have been going to these clothing stores and bowling alleys and what have you, putting their fingers all up in the holes and what have you. So we got to put a stop to that so we can get schools back open in fall time.
I don't know what to do. No one's listening to my rules.
Now, a lot of y'all don't understand how hard it is to be the governor of this great state of South Carolina. We got the best rules, we got the best schools, best high school football. So we got to follow this protocol so we can get the kids back in the fall time.
If you just follow the rules, maybe we can get back to school. I don't know what to do. No one's listening to my rules. In the prom jam.
The McMaster stuff, I use this little dumb app called My Talking Pet. And it's
That
Well, that
was
sounds like a
AI.
name of a song right there.
yeah. Well, it was originally for like to make your pets talk. Like
Right,
you can
hence
move
the
the
name.
mouth. Yeah.
Hence the name.
Sure. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, and I just realized you could use it for anybody. So that's what I started using for the McMaster stuff. And I remember some people were like, this is obviously AI, and we're like, I'm like, oh, it's AI. I was like, this looks so
You weren't-
shitty.
Yeah, you weren't even. That's the best part, though.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
Or
my favorite.
it was either that, or there was a few people who were like, "I never saw him say that."
Yeah, exactly. There's also some people still that couldn't figure out that it was like shitty, like fake, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
All of a sudden, you're on the Tucker Carlson show.
yeah, and that
Yeah.
and that was also just an accident too, because I just was watching those dumb like press conferences during COVID, and then I just was like, just put it
He
out
had
there.
tons of free time.
Yeah, I had
Yeah, we
so
all
much
did.
free time.
Yeah,
And
we
then
all
I just
did.
put them out there, and then all of a sudden it just like got super popular, and everyone kept sharing them, and I was like, oh, I'll keep doing them, I guess.
Yeah,
And
you
then-
got pretty famous with that for a minute.
yeah, and then it got to the point where everyone was like sending me stuff and like telling me to do them all the time, and then that's when I
Right,
kind of just stopped. I
right.
feel like that's usually the part, like the time where I'm like, I don't really want to do this anymore.
I'm the exact same way. Like even this podcast. I mean, a lot of people have given me great ideas. I don't.
Fun to
when it
have
stops being fun,
conversation,
you don't
yeah.
want to do it.
yeah,
Yeah,
There you go. I'm glad you're doing this.
Yeah,
I mean, this
turns
is like
out podcasts were the friendship all along. You know?
Maybe.
yeah, it's the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple questions for you if you guys are interested
Yeah,
in
sure.
changing gears and
Yeah,
some
change it
other
up.
stuff. Okay. I think I'd like to know about your songwriting process. Who all's in the band? Let's hear that.
John Pope, Will Evans, Julie Slonecki, of course, and me.
Yeah. We also have a shark.
Yeah, we have
And the
a
shark.
shark as well. Yeah, he's also our tour manager.
Yeah. And my girlfriend,
and-
Tanya.
Okay.
It's a female shark. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a female shark.
So, what is the songwriting process?
Yeah. Do you want me to take this first, or?
I mean,
So-
Stratton, you started off because
Okay.
you are usually involved in,
Yeah.
in
well,
the
so
starting
basically,
process.
what
here.
happened was I would just say dumb shit sometimes, and it would just become a hook somehow. Like, like I mean, there's a few that I
It's
brought
a very
to the table.
refined
Yeah, like
process.
one of my hooks was "Dance Like You're Stupid," which is a pretty dumb, simple thing, but. Also, it just kind of like Fauci said, it's okay to party.
It's something you just said.
Yeah, I was just like saying that all the time. I was like, hey, Fauci said it's okay to party.
It is kind of, Stratton is just kind of around, and then John and Will and I
They
hear
make the
something
magic,
that he
yeah.
says, and we're like, that's good.
So this happens in a rehearsal space?
Just
or-
hanging out
Sometimes
a
we're
lot of
like
times.
on the
or-
road in the
yeah.
van.
Cool.
For instance, one of our songs that we wrote was called "Swerve."
Oh, yeah.
which we can play
That's a
that
good
one
one.
for you too. But the funny story with that was that we were on the road on our way to Richmond, I believe.
Yeah, we were driving through West Virginia, and
My home state.
yeah, and Stratton was driving.
Yeah.
And we were flying down the interstate with our trailer and our van, and all
You
of
know,
a
going
sudden,
the speed
yeah,
limit.
you know,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, you know,
Ish.
roughly ish.
Yeah.
Stratton's driving, and we're all like on our laptops and like not paying attention, and then all of a sudden Stratton just starts being like, oh god, oh god,
Yeah.
and we're like,
Those roads in West
we
Virginia
look
get
up-
serious quick.
And we're like, what? And he's like, someone's flying behind me.
So what happened was there's this lady, I saw in our side view mirror that there's this lady in this like old Pontiac.
It's like a Pontiac Grand Prix, but like a 98.
That's very West.
They were
That's very-
coming up
yeah.
real fast right behind us, and I was in the right lane, in the cruising lane, and she was coming up in the cruising lane, and like didn't look like they were going to get over, and it looked like she was just going to run right
They were
into
going
us.
easily close to 100 miles an hour.
Yeah,
Oh, sure.
And then so last second she
I believe
swerved. So last second she swerved to the left
the other lane.
into this other lane, and then when she did that, she lost control and went off the road
Damn.
into this dirt.
Well, she was in the basically the median. Like, it's a grassy median. Luckily there wasn't like anything in the way. There weren't any trees or anything. But you think, okay, when someone swerves into the median, they will slowly brake, right?
Right.
And stop.
No, not. They tried to get back on the
Fuck
like
it, let's
swerve.
do it.
So she tried to swerve back on into the road, and when she did that, she overcorrected and then slammed into the side of the guardrail
Right in front of us.
And we'd already braked, so she like passed us, and we like
Oh, wow.
and so we're like
a narrow
what?
miss in front of our van, just like that, and slammed into the guardrail on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're all just sitting there like, what?
Scared to death,
the
probably.
hell?
Well, Stratton was so chill about it, though. That's just
That was really
classic
chill,
Stratton.
yeah.
He was just like, oh, God. And we were like, what? And he was like, someone's coming.
I
we were
handled it
like-
like a pro.
And I was like, oh, what could it be? Like, can't be that bad. And I'm on my laptop, right? And I'm actually making a beat. I'm like making.
She's literally
I'm
making a
working on a
song.
song
Oh, wow.
kind of thing, right? And I'm working on this song. I have my headphones on, and then all of a sudden I see this lady like whip by me and crash in front of us, and it's so scary.
Jesus Christ.
We get out.
Is she alive
we
today or
stopped.
what?
No, yeah. So we were like, all right, we got, even though we were running late for our sound
Yeah, we
check,
were already running late for a show.
and we were like just kind of all in shock still. So we stopped, and we were like, somebody else had already pulled over too, to like, was behind us, I guess. And so we walked, like Will and I walked up to the car, and we see this lady who looked kind of like a junkie or something, and then like this dude, they were kind of
Yeah, she
acting.
did not look
They
in
looked,
the picture of
they
health.
looked real sketchy, and they acted like something was off. And I remember,
No, they said they didn't want us to call the police, which was
Right.
weird. We were like,
That's usually a good way to know something's sketchy.
yeah, we were
Yeah.
like, can we call 911?
Please don't take any pictures of me. I'm not supposed to be here.
We did our obligation. We were like, "Hey, are you guys okay?" And then the guy says, "Yes," and then the girl goes, "No," and we're like, "Okay, good enough. We're gonna go now."
Yeah. Yeah, y'all debate.
The girl was driving though, so
Oh,
Yeah, it was
shit.
weird. I don't know. Will says he saw some sort of like, it looked like there was a needle, like blood in the arm, like that she had done. So like Will's
maybe they were
theory-
shooting a. I don't.
Jesus.
Will's
We
theory-
said we weren't going to talk about DRUGS,
Oh,
but
you can.
Well,
You
Will's
can.
theory is that they were like on some sort of, they were doing something, shooting
yeah,
up.
they
or
were
I don't
doing
know. And
something.
So Julie's writing the song, and then so like literally she's like, I don't know how, like she showed us the song like right after, like when we got back on the
Yeah,
road.
because it felt like, oh, now the song has to be about this incident.
Well, that's what we were saying. Like, what should this song be about? And then we're like, oh, let's should be exactly about this. So,
Yeah.
so John literally laid down his a chorus like with a little headset microphone
Nice.
In the van.
In the van,
I love that. That's
Right,
great.
and this is like right after we had gotten in a wreck.
This was like
almost.
15 minutes after the wreck.
Yeah, like
So you're-
still
you're-
got the adrenaline going.
Yeah.
Like,
so your songwriting is immediate.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was like,
It is. We have the idea, and we're like,
Yeah, let's
it's
do it.
now. It's happening.
and so the take in that song is literally John right after it happened. Like,
yeah, he tried to redo the take, and it was never as good as the one that he did in the van.
Yeah, so we left it. And,
Oh, wow, that's
yeah,
cool.
So
And I have all those plugins I was mentioning that took enough
But yeah,
of the
we'll play the
noise
song
out.
for you here in a second.
Hey,
Yeah.
let's hear it right now, shall we?
On the way to the show, going 75. When a crazy lady runs right off of the side. She rolling in a Pontiac, driving like a maniac, blowing through the dirt, yo, giving me a heart attack. She didn't even put on the brakes, still flying on the side of the interstate. Then she swerved to the right to get back on the road, and then she crashed that hoe. Swerving to the left, crashing to the right. It was out of sight. Swerving to the left, crashing to the right. Oh shit, oh shit. Swerving to the left, crashing to the right. It was
And she almost crashed her car into sex booze. Swerving to the median. And she almost crashed her car into sex booze. Swerving to the median. Position. That baby's in the dirt. Swerve. She driving through the dirt. That bitch is in the dirt. Swerve. Watch out, she's in the dirt. Crackhead lady with a man by her side. Gonna hit the pipe and then we'll go for a ride in the interstate without a care in the world. Just the smell of rain on the West Virginia road. That's when she almost crashed her car into sex booze. Swerving to the median. And she almost crashed her car into sex booze. Swerving to the median. Position. That lady's in the dirt. Swerve. She driving through the dirt. That bitch is in the dirt. Swerve. Watch out, she's in the dirt. Almost crashed her car into sex booze. And she almost crashed her car into sex booze.
All right, so here's a question for you. You've toured around, you've seen a lot of things, you've played a lot of big places, venues,
big
that
time.
kind of thing. Big time. Don't now.
Big
don't-
and small.
Don't smoke and mirrors me now.
Oh, yeah, it's
motherfucker, I'm wise
The
now.
biggest.
Yeah, huge.
So what does Charleston got to do to get there? Are we there? Are we getting there? Well, what's
that's
Charleston all about?
That's a
these
good
days?
question. You know, I will say with bands like Little Stranger, the Psychedelics, like Doom Flamingo, all those guys. I mean, there are a lot of bands now that are on the map now, or like helping with Charleston.
Sure.
You know, being a place that's, you know, before that, I mean, we've had some bigger acts that come out here, obviously like Shovels and Rope and stuff, but I feel like lately, like, you know, with Kanika Moore and stuff, I mean, especially on the jam scene, I feel like we're really like putting a lot more, like people are hearing of bands coming from Charleston a lot more now.
Right.
And that's great. And I mean, Charleston's just a popular city now anyway. It's been growing so much. It's crazy. So, you know, I try to embrace the change. I mean, there's more opportunity with a bigger, more popular city,
Yeah.
but
I mean, that being said, though, I mean, it's still a smaller city in terms of like there actually being some good opportunity for small local musicians. But I mean, I guess the Refinery is kind of what I was thinking of in terms of filling a gap that doesn't currently really exist here of being somewhere in between the Porterhouse and then some like Capital One Stadium, right? Like for bands who draw pretty well but are not at the level of like a national touring, you know, because like in a lot of venues we played out in like Colorado, you know, I wouldn't say like we have an equivalent of the like Cervantes or something.
oh, right, yeah.
Poorhouses and a Music Farm are great, but
Yeah, but to answer your question as far as like what does it take for Charleston bands, I guess, is that what you're asking?
Well,
Like,
just Charleston in general. I mean, like you have a perspective that maybe some people who are listening to the show don't have, and I was just wondering what you might have learned on the road about other places. Like, you know, some
Well,
people want to get on the road. What do they want to find?
I'll
And
tell you what I've learned.
what's
is
Charleston
that
like compared?
Charleston's a lot more expensive.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
speaking
that's-
of West Virginia, I remember we went to some like restaurant in West Virginia and the prices were so cheap. I was like, what? I was
Yeah.
like, things can
You can
be
get good
this
food.
cheap still? I was like, that's crazy.
For cheap.
Back home is like double this price, you know?
But you know, that's I mean, I
Still
feel
love
like
Charleston, just on
it's
record.
never coming
I'm like,
back
you know.
unless we hit a huge recession or apocalypse. Fingers crossed.
Hurricane.
Yeah, you never know.
Just kidding.
You never know.
I'm just kidding. I don't
Just
like
kidding. No,
hurricanes.
I don't want to do all that.
Yeah.
We're not advocating
going to-
for hurricanes, all right?
I'm editing out the.
That sounds
I like
hard.
how you address the camera.
Yeah,
by the
like,
way,
hey, just by
what
the
made you
way,
do that? You guys can wave if you'd like. Hello, YouTube people.
Yeah. Make
But
sure
one
you
thing I would
smash that
say
subscribe
is,
button.
I mean, and this is where Charleston could improve upon, but I would just say like diversity of acts.
Sure.
Like I would say Charleston has a lot of great bands, and actually acts like Little Stranger and Doom Flamingo are Doom Flamingo.
Doom Flamingo.
Doom Flamingo. Doom Flamingo, you know, those are some of the more diverse acts, and
Yeah.
those have taken off. But I would say that's actually the exception, because I would say probably 90% of the bands here are not those genres and are doing more of the jam band cover scene. And that's all well and good, but I would love to see more acts that are given more opportunities as well by venues here that are a little bit outside the box.
Right.
Yeah, and just to touch on that too is for whatever reason Charleston really likes the tributes and cover bands.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
And that's,
here.
obviously I've played in plenty of those where, I've made, it's good money and stuff.
It's money.
And I'm not hating on obviously all the guys from the Reckoning and stuff are my good buddies and all that. And, but yeah, it's more just like a reflection on like, do people hear, because I've seen some original shows that are not as well attended. So I don't know if it's like a matter of people don't want to take a chance and go hear some original music they aren't maybe
it's hard
aren't
to say
familiar
whether or
with,
not it's like actually something that audiences aren't looking for here, or whether or not it's promoters across town not wanting to take the chance on a show that may or may not draw well and would rather just do something that they know is a guaranteed amount.
Yeah, and then
And-
the venues are going to want to fill seats and sell
Right.
and
that's
sell
their
whatever.
priority,
so.
unfortunately, a lot of the time. And I would say that other cities, not all cities, but especially we found out in like Colorado, for example, it seems that there's more of an attitude of being open to different types of shows and taking that risk, taking that creative risk on a show that may sell well, may not sell well, but it's different, it's new, and it's not kind of the same type of show over and over that they know is just going to be this kind of old reliable. And I don't know if that is just the people that live out there, that's what they want.
Yeah,
and
I
the
will
people
say,
of Charleston
I've
just
noticed-
preferred.
Do you think it's because of all the like
Weed?
Could be the weed.
They're like, nah, man, I've heard that before, man. I just want to hear something.
Yeah, when you hear something new.
That was last
man.
year's trip, bro.
Yeah.
That sounded like an old man when I said that.
Hey, later here, too, bro. Doom Flamingo.
But no, yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, I think a lot of people are searching for nostalgia in their music. They want to be comfortable with like a time period that everything was cool and whatever. And
so you're describing like the function of music at that point.
I guess so.
To, like,
I guess it's
artistic inspiration or business or nostalgia.
It's just what you want to get out of like your music, I guess. And then there's some people who want to go see some of these jam bands and just talk during it and have
That's always an interesting show that if you play one of those where people are there, but it's not really to listen to the music, it's just to be out and to be talking.
Or you get guys at like, fish shows and stuff that are like want to talk stats about who one up each other on who's seen what show or this and that.
But that's a function. It's like baseball cards, kind of.
Totally, yeah.
I mean, I was a fish head back in the day, man. Like in the 90s.
I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying it's just like it's just interesting because like you're like the thing's happening right now, and you're like, why are we talking and not watching it?
Yeah,
it's happening now.
Yeah, we paid a lot of money to be here.
And then like later on, they're gonna talk about, hell, I saw that song. I was like, no, you didn't. You were talking the whole time.
Yeah, you did not.
We never quite got to that level of fandom with our fans. They weren't.
Well,
they weren't
super
quite.
fans.
Yeah, they weren't
down
talking
your-
stats.
We
like,
don't let people talk during our. If people aren't paying attention at our shows, I just throw snaps.
It's true.
At them.
Stratton does bombard them. Actually, was it Halloween? There was one pretty big show that you threw like a box. Like I think you threw a whole pancake box out, and it
No, that was at that Summer's Inn Smokeout.
Oh, it was. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, and I didn't think that this through, but it was like we didn't have any time, and so I didn't have time to like make the pancakes. So
Yeah,
I
it
thought-
was totally behind schedule. A nightmare
Sure.
backstage.
Sure.
and I remember I had this whole box of pancakes, so I was like, well, maybe
Mix. It was a pancake mix.
Yeah, and so I was like, well, maybe rather than like throwing pancakes out, I'll just throw the box out so somebody can like take it home, or I don't know. And when I did, as soon as I let go, I was like, oh no, this is like. I like put some pretty good like height on it, and like
It's dangerous.
Yeah, I mean it's a heavier box, so like if somebody wasn't aware of it, and it wasn't that thick of a crowd,
If they were
so-
talking.
Right.
yeah,
Well,
just get
I mean,
hit with
you know.
like pancake box. But luckily, some girl like caught it perfectly, and
That's
then
good.
later
Yeah.
on, she actually was like, I caught the pancake mix, and it actually worked
No,
out
she
great.
messaged us like the next day, and I guess it was a camping festival. And
Right.
yeah,
We,
they
like,
said
saved
they
the day.
made
Oh,
they said they
wow.
made pancakes for
the
everyone in
whole-
their campground the next morning.
I love that I love your y'all's strategy for
Yeah,
fan interaction.
we'll find any way to.
Part of it's strategy, and part of it's just you being you, right?
It is both, yeah.
And another thing we like to do is I'll purposely say the wrong city, just because.
It really grinds people's gears.
That
it
does
turns
grind
out.
gears.
Well, especially if it's Myrtle Beach. If you say Myrtle Beach when you're, we do that in Charleston sometimes.
Yeah, the best place to say it, although we haven't played there now in many years, was Wilmington.
Oh yeah, they don't like that.
If you are in Wilmington playing a show and you say, "What's up, Myrtle Beach?"
Oh no!
And then I'll do a call and response. I'll be like, when I say Myrtle, y'all say beach. And then they're like, beach. But that's not where we are.
Yeah, and then you'll just get multiple people yelling.
Oh,
Be
that's
like,
right.
"That's not where
I think we had the
are."
opening band even. Like, it was like mad at us
Oh
for
wow!
that.
Yeah.
I was like, man, we're singing songs about bop it's. Like, what do you think we are? Like,
Or
we're
like,
serious.
actually, another funny one is that people get mad is like any other CH city is to call it the wrong CH. So like Charlottesville,
Oh,
if you
yeah.
call it Charleston
Or Charlotte.
or Charlotte,
Oh, like you
or
did
if
it
you
on
call
purpose.
Charlotte Charlottesville.
Right, so they think you did it on accident
Or
for real.
Yeah,
then.
exactly.
Yeah.
You want to? You can't
That's what
go
I meant.
too crazy.
And
You
then
can't
you-
be like, "What's up, Atlanta?"
Then you always
in
double
Char-
down. You always say, that's what I said, and then the wrong thing again,
Yeah. Yeah, you never back down.
But anyway, I don't know if that's like, and maybe that makes, maybe like that.
You guys got to
turns-
fight your way out of a gig with a
well,
spatula.
That's what I mean. And that maybe that's
We
why.
win people over. We win them over.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing is like you'll see people kind of just like sitting there like, I don't know.
There's a transformation though, usually.
And then about 5 or 6 songs like we
Yeah.
get them and they're like, I love, and they'll make it a point to tell us, they're like, man, I really didn't like you guys like at
Yeah,
all.
that is a
I
comment we
actually-
get a lot.
I actually really hated you guys, but now that I've seen you guys a little bit more, you guys are awesome, man.
Nice.
I mean,
Well,
that's-
that means they actually thought about
And
it.
I'm like, I guess you didn't have
You
to
won
say
'em over.
You didn't have to say all the first
I mean,
part.
that happens to us so much, and it's actually something that
You guys play great music. By the
it
way.
works in our favor.
We
But
haven't,
also,
we haven't really breached. We haven't really got into that. I don't know if you guys really
Yeah.
kind of want to like. You seem like you're kind of self-effacing a little bit about that, maybe.
yeah, it's
But
hard.
you write
We're-
great
we're
music
both-
too.
We're a band full of anxiety-ridden, mildly depressed people. Who
We've
take
been-
their outlet in humor.
We've been called adult children as well.
Yeah, we also are immature, so it's like a great combination of a lot of things. But yeah, I mean, we can get into the music aspect
did
of it
that
more.
answer your
Like
question?
we'll try to be serious.
No, I don't want you to be serious at all.
I don't remember what the question was.
Yeah, I don't either.
It doesn't matter. I'm going with that from now on. Like your it doesn't matter thing. Man, maybe
Okay.
it's going to get me through the
Yeah.
next few years.
Just
I
doing
think.
the weave,
Yeah, just do the weed,
Yeah,
man.
we'll
Fuck
get
it.
back to it.
We'll get back to it.
We'll circle back.
So you guys have another band, Folly Buble.
That's right.
Yeah.
I've seen it a couple times down on Folly. What's up with that?
Well,
Explain, sir.
we realized that Julie could just be the band herself, and
I'm
it's-
trying. Yeah, I mean, we do looping, and
And you use Ableton Live with that?
no, it is all analog,
okay.
baby.
Sweet.
Old school loop
Awesome.
pedal.
Cool.
It is relying on my body to hit the note and the pedal at
That's
the exact
awesome.
right time. There's no quantizing, and
I didn't know that. I mean, I was sitting on the other side at the low tide a while back, and I figured it was Ableton. It's a good job,
yeah.
man.
Well,
Yeah,
I
sound
am
good.
running I'm running synth sounds out of my laptop.
Oh, okay. I got you.
With Logic. And so that part is, I'm
Right.
programming different patches and stuff, but in terms of like playing it for most of it, I'm playing it live. There's a few things that I have like stored on the loop pedal, but
Okay.
yeah, I mean it's growing in complexity. I'm trying to figure out a way to maybe make it easier on me because right now,
Yeah.
Well, Folly Buble kind of started also because I realized that at bar gigs, having 2 of us versus like 4 or 5 of us, we make significantly better money.
a great financial advantage.
So it's all greed based.
Yes, very much.
It was.
It started in greed, and then we're kind of trying to work out of that.
I had always been doing the looping stuff solo, but then I kind of just got bored of doing it alone,
Right.
and we explored the possibility of really going after it as a duo, and so now I have it set up to send him like a click and stuff, so we can really stay locked into the
Right,
loop.
right.
That really helps. Yeah.
So your setup time is what? I mean, can you guys?
It's still a lot
It's a lot still.
Yeah. Still.
for 2 people. It's a dumb amount of stuff.
Yeah. But we're evolving in the sound, and what we have like 5 originals right now, or
Yeah, 5 or 6, and we're gonna write more. Trust us.
yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, we're working day and night. Working,
But it's kind of fun, actually, in an interesting sort of opposition to Sex Brews that, for so many years I was focused on Sex Brews and writing these songs that are humor based, obviously lyrically. I mean, the music part of it, which we sort of touched on, but that is, really our music taste a lot of the time, and really
Right.
good, fun music that we like with or without silly
unless we're
lyrics.
writing like a bro country song or something.
Yeah, but either way, we kind of are usually proud of the music part. But, lyrically, it's usually silly, over the top, whatever. And so it was nice for me to actually go back to writing songs that were a little bit more personal,
Okay.
but not. I would say I actually still took a page out of Sex Brews' book in terms of like being a little tongue in cheek
Right.
about the topic. It's not. I'm not out here being
not
like,
like
my
serious.
life
Yeah,
is
yeah.
so hard, like,
Actually, I like
and
that.
you should feel sorry for me. Like I'm I'm not writing that kind of music.
I mean, maybe you should.
Maybe I should.
yeah. People like to cry.
They do. I guess people want to hear something that they resonate with, and maybe they would resonate with that. But I try to still actually do that, like have a touch of the tongue in cheek, but yet about a pretty serious topic. So like Work Until You Die. That's one of the songs we sent you.
Everybody's walking with their heads down. Can I pick up on the beat of this sound? 'Cause we're all inside a snow globe, shaking till we can't move. Then it all comes falling down. Don't wanna work until you die. Don't wanna work until you die. This can't be why you are alive. Don't wanna work until you die. No. Doing things that cannot satisfy us, ignoring all the feelings deep inside us. 'Cause we all can feel it shifting. Something here is missing. Then we're 6 feet underground. Don't wanna work until you die. Don't wanna work until you die. This can't be why you are alive. Don't wanna work until you die. No.
And that was kind of one of the songs that it was just something I had just been thinking about for the last couple months.
Working all day.
Is that one of y'all's newer songs?
Well, that was like the first original we put out. And
Yeah.
then, now we've got, how many we have released? 3?
We have 3 released and working on some more. But yeah, I mean, that was just a topic that I had ruminating in my head for a while of just like the kind of overwhelming weight that you kind of feel in the background almost every day, being like, I really have to continue to do all these things.
Yeah.
The grind is real.
Forever.
Yeah.
Like, just the day-to-day stuff of
what
paying
we
your
all live
bills
with.
and toiling and working and the idea that it feels like retirement for our generation may never come. It may not be a reality. Also climate change, it might just come and take us all.
That doesn't exist, though. What are you guys talking about?
Or the aliens in the
Yeah.
ocean. One of the two.
Man, what a time to be alive, huh?
Right?
It's funny. It's funny to me that, like, speaking of aliens in the ocean, how many more people probably believe in that than like
I mean, the government
than climate change.
I don't know if
or
you've been,
whatever.
yeah.
This is-
Well,
I mean-
honestly, man, I don't know if you've kept up with these like hearings
hearings.
they've been having. They're like,
Oh, yeah,
legitimate
the,
discussion.
yeah.
Like, oh, these
Yeah.
are real. We just don't know what they are.
Well, you know what? I say more power to the aliens.
I know.
I'm
I
down.
think that's
It's
been
I'm ready to
I-
give
I always
pass the sticks, as they
I
say.
always
yeah.
joke that
please save us, I guess, is also, or if by saving us it means
I always
taking us out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't want to do this anymore. I'll
Yeah.
be in a hamster
exactly. I
wheel.
don't want to work until I die.
Yeah.
well, I was thinking to capitalize on it and get one of them in your band. You know, that's what I'm saying.
Why,
like-
why would they do that? Music is a dead
Because
end
think
road.
about it, not with an alien in your band. I mean, I feel like if you have an alien in your band,
What is it, Star Wars?
Imagine what
Like-
kind of
Well,
music.
you'll get deported
The
for
Cantina
one.
song.
Oh, nice,
Ooh,
nice.
good.
That was good.
Oh,
that was good.
I
I
did
got
like
him.
Do you have your little? You didn't even use your little thing there. Huh? Nice. we'll fix it in post. Yeah. But no, I mean, I think that's if we're living in a capitalistic society, then might as well capitalize on
But do
alien
aliens
invasion.
care about money? They probably don't care.
I don't know, but they're gonna love the lifestyle of being a rock and roll.
Sleeping in 3 pillow hotel rooms?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, there are classifications of hotels, and it is largely reliant on how many pillows per bed they give you.
Right.
We have been in a lot of mediocre hotel rooms, let me tell you.
You guys do the old school pile into one.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
We do,
Oh, yeah.
for the
Well,
most part.
It is interesting though that like some hotel rooms will have 3 pillows on each bed, which
Yeah,
is
that's what
just,
we're talking about is, yeah.
just sets up an argument with whoever.
Yeah, who gets the-
It's the middle.
Yeah, you're
No,
like,
who gets the other pillow?
Oh, I see.
that's what I mean. Like, and then some places will have 4 pillows, but they'll be half, so it'll be
Yeah, we've noticed that. Like, so now there will be fake nice hotels
Yeah.
that are like, we're old shitty hotels that have now been refurbished or like kind of got an upgrade. And some corporate ding dong was like, we'll save so much money if we cut all the pillows in half.
right. There's definitely like a board meeting.
That guy got a
discussing it.
raise that
Yeah.
like wiped
Oh,
out
yeah.
that whole pillow savings
It's
probably.
like we save $3 million per year if
Yeah.
we cut the pillows.
But the funny thing is, they didn't change the size of the pillowcases.
right?
Oh,
So the pillowcases are like gigantic
Yeah.
and like folded within the
So the
pillow.
evidence is right there.
Oh yeah,
right
it's
there.
pretty
by
clear. You're like, you're not fooling us.
Wow, man. You guys should write a book on
Can't
these,
get
these
anything
theories
past
of
sex
yours.
brews.
This is kind of content you get here with
That's perfect.
with us on-
Vast knowledge.
So Sex Brews, what's next? What are y'all doing? What's the new thing? What's
Well-
the shiny new toy?
We're kind of taking a little time off right now. John Pope just had a second baby. Well, he didn't, but his wife did.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're kind of getting back to the drawing board of what we want to do with, because we don't want to be a one trick pony, and we want to,
yeah, we might reinvent ourselves.
keep evolving and try to.
Try to find an alien
Death metal
to-
band, maybe? Oh no.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, there
sweet.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just tough these days. Like, it feels like you work so hard on content and then, you put it out and then everyone's like, all right, I watched that. What's the next thing? It's like,
Yeah.
you're like, I don't know, man, that takes time to
constant
do,
Yeah.
So,
effort. And when you look back and all of a sudden, you look back and you're like, well, we've been doing this consistently now for like 7 years. It is a little bit daunting to think, how do I continue this, or how do we continue to improve this,
Right.
and what's next for us? Because, I mean, we've had some great shows and some great runs, but I would say we've kind of been on the on the side of just narrowly missing some really good opportunities, or
it's tough. I mean,
almost kind of making that next leap, and then something didn't work out. COVID happened.
Right. Yeah, that was a bit of a bummer.
In a time for us that we felt like we were actually peaking as a band. So, things like that set us back. And
that was weird because we were on the road when that was happening, and we were like, this is not good for us. Right. It was like the nature of our band.
on the up and up, kind of, in terms of as a band, we had found our stride a little bit and had a couple really good shows breaking through, and we felt like this was our time, and then all of a sudden the world was like, no, it's not.
Oh wow.
But on the flip side of that, we also ended up writing a lot of like some of our best material.
We wrote some really great material out of that, although
there weren't many bands that were like writing anything about COVID. Like,
although it is interesting trying to play those songs now.
Yeah,
because
I don't know if they've aged or not. I mean,
they have, I suppose, but also some of them not so much. But like Fauci said, it's okay to party.
Right.
Fauci was like a household name.
Sure,
he still
for
is.
a minute, but he's not so relevant now.
Right.
Yeah, that's the tricky part about writing songs like that, is that it becomes irrelevant.
Yeah.
After a little while, and then. But I will say we've been writing some new stuff. Like Grocery Store is a new one that the remake.
It's not even a remake. It's really just a different song that also happens to be about forgetting what you were there to get.
And you still list some things, but it's more interesting now.
Yeah, this is true. We do still list them.
We're very.
What's on the list? Give me something we forget.
I think the frozen pizzas were on there. Fancy cheese, avocados, yogurt.
It's some good stuff.
The premise is like you go in there and you just get lost in like really fun stuff grocery wise. You realize that you haven't bought anything useful.
Okay.
Like you don't have lunch for tomorrow. You just bought a bunch of
Funyuns.
You just bought
unrelated things.
Yeah, you bought like yogurt and bacon, and then you're like, what?
Yeah. That sounds cool.
It's also just kind of like a dancey, groovy banger,
That's what we try to get people, and that's what a lot of people have told us, that they're smiling and laughing while they're dancing, and that's like such a nice image.
Yeah.
Like. It's great for us to see that too when we're performing, and and you
kind of feed off it a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean a lot of our shows, if the crowd is not giving it back to us, it just makes us feel weird.
Yeah, it's difficult. But I would say actually, of a lot of bands that I've been a part of or seen, that we are actually able to generate a lot of energy, even to shows where no one is giving us anything back. And that's because the four of us really draw from each other. So we're definitely able to still, we almost kind of lean into the ridiculously of like no one being there. Like we played one show, I think, in like Kentucky. It was like Louisville.
Oh yeah,
Tough market, Kentucky.
We had this really grumpy sound guy too, who just
set the mood.
For some reason, hated us from the get go, and we're like, okay,
those are always great guys.
Yeah, he was. The snare channel wasn't working, right? And normal sound guys might just come up on the stage, troubleshoot, maybe change out a chord. Maybe a little grumpily, but this guy was like, "I'm completely fucked," and we were like,
"You just hear that out?" We're like, "What?"
Yeah, we were like,
"Not a good start."
Okay,
are you though?
All right.
It doesn't seem that bad.
Yeah.
Can you just?
It's just one thing.
Just one cable. You could fix it.
And then basically he was like our only person there.
That guy's bringing some baggage.
And then with that energy, it was literally
God.
like my girlfriend who was working as tour manager in Shark.
We maybe had 2 or 3 people come in like towards the end, but it was brutal.
And it was pretty brutal. But the thing is that once you get like one song in, you realize it's going to be like that.
Yeah.
And so we just lean into it.
Yeah,
you put on the same show no matter what.
Totally. I mean, you
awesome.
have to. I mean, there's nothing funnier than to, like when we're doing snacks. Like we have a song called Snacks where I just throw out snacks.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's very obvious title, yeah.
So anyway, there's nobody in there, and you just throwing snacks
just bouncing off the floor.
Yeah.
And then later on, you just go
commit to
pick
the
them up and then put them back in your bag, because you're not going to waste them.
Well, yeah, you don't want to waste them.
Yeah, snacks.
Or sometimes you just throw the same people over and over, like, I don't want any of this stuff.
Yeah, we've done that before too, where there's maybe 10 people in the room and literally everyone has gotten a snack.
Right.
Which doesn't happen for bigger crowds, obviously. We don't.
That's awesome.
And we'll do it like a second time, and everyone's like, we're good.
Like,
They're full.
We don't need.
yeah, because there's always like fruit roll-ups and like
Sure.
gushers and shit that's like
awesome.
Yeah, we've
just
had the 90s
nostalgic.
snacks.
you know?
Right.
We thought about maybe actually that could be something, as we were talking about what do we do next, is we could transition to a
Healthier
healthy snacks band.
Yeah, we should probably stop throwing out high fructose
It's all
corn syrup.
the fault. There's no crowd
no
for
healthy
that.
snacks.
There's no crowd for that.
Some
You're right. They don't go out to shows.
Some may blame us for America's obesity.
Yeah. Some may.
Some may. I've heard that from
Yeah.
people.
JFK was like, hey, sex bros.
Hey, that's not funny. That guy's an asshole.
Yeah, you're right.
He is an asshole.
Yeah, I mean,
All right.
he's an interesting guy.
Okay. And by the way, thanks for coming out here. And
Yeah,
doing
this
all
has been great.
It is. Hopefully, people will enjoy it.
You know,
It's going to be huge. We'll buy the
I've-
lights.
I've-
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
completed to my 50 milligram D9 drink here.
You feel good?
I feel great.
Does it actually change your mood or
Yeah, I feel so much cooler now.
better than before? That's not because of me. No, I'm
Well,
just
it's
kidding.
because
Yeah,
of,
of course
of
not.
a variety,
Yeah,
a
it's a
variety
variety.
of things. Yeah, it's a lot of things. Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
but mainly this.
Well, thank you for coming and sitting down and talking to me.
Anytime.
Thanks for
I really
having us.
appreciate it. I'd like to get you guys back at some point whenever I'm a little bit better and more
Yeah.
skilled at this job.
I mean,
actually.
look, we're going to buy you so many Facebook likes
Oh, yeah.
after this.
Damn. We're gonna-
And
please.
YouTube views. You can
Yeah,
buy
we-
views.
We got a guy.
We know Fiverr.
Honestly though, I just don't care.
No.
I don't care about that. As long as like a few
We'll edit
people in
that
our
out.
town here.
No,
that's
we'll fix that in post.
Most people who know me know I don't give a shit.
No, I know.
So,
I'm just kidding.
exactly.
Yeah, but trust this, though. This is how you get famous. We
Yeah.
didn't, so.
The most famous podcaster in Charleston.
Yeah,
There you
exactly.
go.
Music.
You're going to get podcaster of the year. You know,
That'll be great.
Yeah, in no time.
All right, so I think we're going to have to leave it right there.
there you go.
It says so on the paper.
Podcaster of the year.
So thanks for sitting down and talking to me. And to everyone at home, please be sure to check out the Sex Brews live. I said the Sex Brews.
Yeah,
That's fine.
you can
It's
say
kind
that.
of like a.
The Sex Brews.
The Sex Brews. Do you guys say it's Sex Brews?
Yeah, we
Sex
try
Brews.
to. We're
Corey
like-
asked me to ask you that.
We're like, hey,
Corey Stevens.
You're like, hey, everybody, we're Sex Brews. It's like,
Yeah,
thanks for
you
coming
gotta
out
kind
to
of
the
say
show.
it with that inflection. It's also a really fun thing to tell like doctors or
Oh yeah,
other professional
it's really awkward
people
having
when
to tell people that.
Yeah, they come up and they're like, "Hey, how you doing? Like, what do you do for work?" and
what's
you're
your
like, "I'm a
band?"
musician." What's your band? And yeah, you have to
Just
find
like
a delicate
Sex
way
Brews?
to. I do mutter it. I'm like, "Sex Brews?"
And then they go, Sex Brews? You're like, exactly. That's exactly how you say it.
And they're like, oh, yeah, I see that all the time.
Yeah. Sex Brews? I said it to this guy in our house doing repairs the other day. he had no
awkward.
idea what I said. I don't think he wanted to like really recognize the word I just said.
Right.
I could see the confusion
Right.
in
Just
his
went
face.
on past.
And he was just like, maybe I'll see you guys sometime. And I was like,
Please don't.
no.
Hey, you never know. Maybe he's hungry.
I mean, yeah.
At the very
I mean,
least.
we do
He
feed
could be.
people.
He could
so,
be. It's true.
So where's some next shows? I mean, like this show won't come out for like a month probably, but you got something big on the horizon we could.
Yeah,
talk
just,
about?
keep up with us on our website.
Yeah, I mean, we actually don't have too much to announce as Sex Brews right now, but Folly Buble, we are playing a Bounty Bar coming up.
Well,
It's
it won't be
huge.
out by then.
Oh.
But we'll probably be playing there again.
You probably will.
They'll just fix that in post.
We'll fix that. in
Yeah,
post.
we'll just, I'll say, we're playing at Bounty Bar on,
And I'll say April 13th.
Exactly. That's perfect.
and other big shows.
Another
Yeah,
big
Stratton
shows.
and I also have low-key plans to tour Europe as Folly Buble as the duo.
That's right.
So
Oh man, that would be something.
We have
Yeah.
some friends over there that we're trying to set that up for.
yeah,
little
tour is
European
probably
thing.
too much of an illustrious word. It would
It's
be
more of
more
like
sort of
a
like
busking.
hanging around.
Damn, busking. I got to recommend Greece. If you ever been to
Oh
Greece,
wow,
Oh yeah,
never been.
I haven't.
man, best place
It looks
ever.
terrible.
Yeah, doesn't it? I did not want to come home, but
Yeah.
Why did you?
my wife made me.
That's
You didn't bring your
good
wife?
Reason.
I did.
Oh.
She's like, we have responsibilities and dogs and a house payment and shit. I was
Get
like,
new dogs.
Yeah, just.
I thought the same
Oh,
thing.
I was gonna say ship them there, but that's. I guess you could just get new ones.
Yeah, let's get new ones.
Yeah.
And name them the same names, and it'll be like they never
Yeah.
left.
Yeah.
Oakley too.
I remember that's what my dad did when one of our cats died. He went and got another cat and just looked at the same orange cat and then named it the same name. And it was like he never left. I don't know if
I've
that's
heard of people doing that for
I don't know
their
if that's
children when their dog goes to the farm.
Yeah, I was a senior in high school.
I really thought you were going to end that sentence with, I've heard people did that with their children, period. Like,
I'm sure
we just got a new child.
You know what? In the whole world, that's probably happened a lot, actually.
What? You don't remember little Jimmy?
Yeah. It's your brother.
He's been here this whole time. What do you mean?
He never left.
Oh, man.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, that's the podcast.
That is a podcast.
I like how you're ending the podcast. Fuck you.
Look, we just want to wrap this up and say thanks to our sponsors, Pizza Hut,
who else?
Lowe's, Microsoft.
Bed Bath & Beyond.
Bed Bath & Beyond is a huge one, even though they've been going out of business. Buy them up, guys. Buy them up.
That's right.
Also, you can get 20% off discount.
What is the Beyond part of that? Actually, I've never been in one of those places.
I used to work there. Actually, it was one of my first jobs out of college.
Nice.
In the recession economy, I couldn't get hired anywhere, and I had a fancy degree, and nobody wanted me except.
So, like, you're a music major?
I had a psychology degree too. Okay, which was completely pointless.
I don't know. You guys have some psychological elements to your music.
I don't know if I would be Sex Brews if I didn't have a psychology degree. Maybe.
Oh wow. I didn't know that.
We're in the minds of people.
Yeah.
But anyway, I worked there, and there is no beyond. It turns out.
Oh, it's just bed and bath.
Life, and then
it's
you
just
die.
like a janitor closet.
There's no beyond.
Yeah.
Now you're getting into my own depression.
Yeah.
As I look at 50, I'm thinking
you gotta laugh through it. You gotta laugh
please,
through it.
could there please be something else? But I just don't really fucking think that. Actually,
The Mormons were right. Actually,
that would be something. That'd be something.
I'm like, wow.
I would lose a bet on that. I think.
Like, all right.
If
Well, is it
anybody's-
too late to be a Mormon? Like, what do I got to do? We get some more wives?
It's too late.
We can have a whole conversation about that.
Yeah, we
That's
could.
for next time.
That's
Yeah,
for
next podcast.
Yeah, please come back too.
That'd be great.
All right, I'm going to finish reading this goddamn piece of paper. All right.
Nice.
Trust me, you will definitely not regret it. See, that doesn't make any sense now.
We'll fix it in post.
No,
It's
I'm not
fine.
going to fix it. I'm
Just
going to leave
splice it.
I'm actually thinking more about less fixing in post and just say, fuck it. People want to hear it. They
No,
can
I
hear
know,
it.
but
Yeah.
it's funny if you say that it's it's like a bit.
I should get some bits.
Oh.
It's funny that I actually had one more bit, but I'm not going to do it to you guys. It's a question generator. It's like a spin the wheel question
wow.
thing.
But that would have been fun.
Yeah.
It's
Next
too late
time.
now.
Yeah,
We
well,
can't do it.
well.
There's nothing that can.
The questions were kind of lame. That's what I backed out.
What's your favorite color?
what
We
do
wrote
you-
a song like that once, though. Actually, we just did a word generator.
Oh, yeah.
That's how we wrote
I
physical.
forgot about that.
Actually, I don't want to digress any further, but have you played with ChatGPT and blues lyrics?
No.
You should.
But we have
You
an
should.
entire new project called DJ
Oh,
Bullshit,
yeah. I forgot to mention DJ Bullshit.
which is not AI.
Okay.
It's AI.
It's AI.
It's a AI house DJ.
Well, it's us as a foursome being a DJ group that, we just bring a bunch of fake mixers and stuff on stage.
Oh, man, we're revealing
it's all
our
pre-recorded.
secrets. People
Okay.
are going to know now.
Sorry. Okay. No one listened to this podcast.
Yeah.
They probably won't. That's fair.
Yeah, it
DJ
turns out you can just write AI house songs very easily. I mean, we write the lyrics, of course. But,
Yeah, we write the lyrics and
and
we
then
tell
the-
it what to do.
And it does all. It makes all the music.
And then we pick which one's the best.
Yeah.
So we
Okay,
do
so you're
stuff.
selecting things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then
there's-
I do sweet DJ transitions.
So there's
Sweet.
human artistic
Yeah.
things in there, that we do.
Where
Yeah.
is the line anymore?
But
I don't know.
Unfortunately, it could be offensive to DJs.
Yeah, we didn't realize that.
Who
might be
cares?
offensive. Yeah, but also,
Yeah, that was the thought that we arrived at.
well, we're also
Yeah.
anonymous. We all have LED masks.
Yeah,
and,
we're
like,
super
hoodies on.
anonymous. We're not telling you right now at all.
Awesome. So I know a secret now.
Yeah, you know a secret. Bleep this part out.
Yeah, I won't do that. All right, so you definitely won't regret it. Buy their merch, share their media, and support what they're up to.
Yeah.